Please join in a warm welcome for our distinguished guest, Bob Knox.
Thank you, Ken. This is truly a privilege and an honor for me to be part of this special day, especially at a school, my alma mater, which I could not get into today. This is truly an awesome institution, and the faculty, under the leadership of Ken Freeman, has, over the course of the last 10 years, truly transformed the school into one of the greatest business schools in the world. Congratulations. I also want to congratulate your parents, family, and friends who have provided the critical financial and moral support to help you earn your degrees. I know you'll pay them back through your future accomplishments. Now, I asked a few friends for advice on what I might say tonight. One of my partners told me about the remark Gary Trudeau, the Doonesbury cartoonist, made on commencement speeches. Trudeau said the chief function of the speaker is to ensure that the graduates do not enter the real world until they have been properly sedated. I then called Alan Questrom, the supremely successful retail mogul whose magnificent gift, the largest in BU history, named this school just 2 years ago. Alan has been my friend for over 20 years, a fellow trustee, and of course a Questrom alum. Alan picked up the phone and he was shocked that I had been asked to speak at the commencement of what he calls my business school. He said, "What the hell was Ken Freeman thinking? My business school doesn't need any new commencement speakers. They can just replay my commencement speech, which was perfect and will be relevant for centuries." I told Alan I'd already accepted and the programs had been printed, and he said, "Okay, but please don't go drinking at the dugout before speaking at my business school." Thanks, Alan. Then I thought I might get some more friendly advice from my wife, Jean, who is here tonight, and she said, "Don't try to be witty or charming or insightful or anything like that. Just be yourself." So following the helpful advice of my wife and so-called friends, I'll keep this brief and hope you're awake at the end. Years ago, when I was sitting out where you are tonight, I was confident about many things, probably without much justification. For one, I was certain that I was nothing less than a stock market wizard, investment genius. I believed I had learned everything about stock and stock options by reading the Wall Street Journal and taking Professor Jack Aber's investment theory course here at Questrom. So at the age of 23, with my new MBA and my big ticket job, I maxed out borrowing on the credit line of my brand new gold American Express card and started buying stock options literally like a madman. Of course, completely confident of success. Well, the options I purchased with borrowed money went in only one direction, down, unrelentingly down, until they expired completely worthless. In a flash, my dream of creating wealth vanished, and I was left with a huge pile of debt. As one of my friends very gleefully stated at the time, I had become a walking leverage buyout at the age of 24. What did I learn from this delusional behavior? My complete failure of judgment. I learned that, like life, options are short and they expire. I clearly realized that I was not the next Warren Buffett. I learned that leverage is powerful when prices go up, but deadly dangerous when prices go down. I realized I had much to learn from others who had been there before, that experience counts. And most importantly, I learned the powerful truth that success is error-driven. This painful failure helped me realize that reckless speculation and acting as a lone ranger was not a rational way to create wealth. My options debacle was also critical in forming my belief that the best way to create lasting value was to build an investment organization based on the strength of people who shared the same values and goals. I was able to seize the opportunity to act on this belief a few years later when I organized and led a team of several colleagues through the very scary decision to abandon our successful careers and risk starting a venture capital firm. We set out to raise $100 million, a really ambitious goal in the early 1980s when the venture capital business was in its formative stages. Because of our ages, many of our friends and colleagues were skeptical that we'd be able to persuade sophisticated institutional investors to back us. And there were many dark days as we tried to convince investors that a team of smart kids with MBAs could be successful making risky venture capital investments. The fundraising effort was grueling. We lived on airplanes, and we went begging for money all around the country and all around the world. And although we came perilously close to failure at several points, we persevered and finally succeeded in raising the capital to start our own firm. And we surprised a lot of people who told us it couldn't be done and that we would surely fail. Well, fast forward. Over some 30 years, we raised a series of much larger funds, and we thrived on investing capital and taking risk in the pursuit of superior returns. And we've had some great successes, and we've had some harrowing failures. One of our early investments illustrates the risk we faced in making decisions to invest in early-stage technology companies. Now, see if you MBAs can guess the name of this company. It had the following characteristic. It was founded by an entrepreneur who was 22 years old when we first met him, and he was by anyone's standard an unseasoned CEO and an unproven leader. The company's computer products were of the Me Too variety. They were not significantly different from those of the competition, and the competition was fierce. The company had no professional venture capital backing and was operating in Texas when virtually all technology companies were located either in Silicon Valley or here in Boston. But stacked against these daunting risks was the absolutely otherworldly passion and enthusiasm of the entrepreneur and his strong conviction that his product could be profitably sold directly to the consumer, completely bypassing all the traditional retail channels. We weighed the many risks against the passionate belief of the entrepreneur and the potential of a radically new way to sell computers and decided it was a worthwhile bet. This turned out to be a very smart decision because, as you probably guessed by now, the entrepreneur was Michael Dell, and the company was Dell Computer. Now, I wish I could tell you that we knew how successful Dell would become, but we did not. Just to give you an idea, Dell eventually reached a market cap of $100 billion, which is more than 1,000 times the value of our investment. But no one could have predicted this phenomenal success, and no one did. Likewise, I don't know anyone who predicted the astonishing equity values achieved by Amazon, Google, Facebook, just to name a few extraordinary companies that have been created by entrepreneurs and backed by venture capital. But what I do know is that risk-taking entrepreneurs will continue to create businesses of immense value, many of which will dramatically transform our lives in ways that none of us can predict today. And I'll also tell you that the business world you are entering is more of a meritocracy and offers more opportunity for talented new entrants than ever before. And that brings me directly to you. Tonight, I speak to you as fellow business executives, as colleagues. I won't be giving you the usual commencement speech blather to find your North Star, or listen to your inner voice, or discover your true passion. Hopefully you went rogue at some point, took a philosophy course, and covered these existential questions. I believe that people who choose a business career would appreciate practical advice that might help them navigate in the real world. So I humbly offer some advice from my own school of hard Knox, that's K-N-O-X. It's not Questrom, but it's my own business school. First, be a risk taker. Where there is no risk, there are no real rewards. You'll find that your appetite for risk will diminish as you get older, so summon the courage to take risks early in your career. Obviously, you develop an ability to accurately assess risk, but keep in mind that each risk taken provides a foundation, an education, if you will, for the next risk, which will be easier to take. In order to take risks, you have to make decisions. Decisions to take action, and decisions that will lead and inspire others to take action. I found that in business, as in life, Most people are reluctant to make important decisions. And when they do, they generally want more information than is necessary to make the right decision. I've observed that most people want to have 80% or more of the facts they think may be available about any given situation before making a decision. The problem with setting your threshold this high is that in an intensely competitive world, someone with more confidence and greater tolerance for risk will preempt the opportunity that waits on your decision. I learned to be confident about making decisions with limited information by flying airplanes with my dad, a Navy pilot who taught me to fly when I was 15 years old. At that age, learning to make decisions that have potential life or death consequences hardwired the habit in my brain. So learn how to make decisions without all the information you think you must have. Now, making a lot of decisions means you're going to make mistakes, like I did with my stock option scheme. And perhaps, like me, you'll make many mistakes. But what you learn from your mistakes and failures will become a treasure trove of powerful experience that is of immense value because it's called wisdom. And keep in mind that you don't have to be old to be wise. That's just another myth. Be a leader. You've already demonstrated your desire and ability to be leaders because you've had the tenacity to earn your graduate business degree. Most of you will be joining corporations, which can provide tremendous opportunities to take responsibility early in your careers and learn from other talented people. Nothing in business takes too long to master if you're working with people you are learning from and learning with. Work in an organization where leaders grow new leaders. That's the only culture in which personal growth and success can be achieved. If you don't agree with how the firm you're working at is being run, or if the powers that be are not open to new ideas, then move on to a more enlightened company. Better yet, start your own business and do it your own way. Become an entrepreneur. You're perfectly positioned and superbly qualified to be the next generation of great entrepreneurs. Now, here's an important corollary I feel very strongly about, not surprisingly. Be an owner. Take ownership of your ideas and express your opinions with conviction. Have a goal of owning equity in the business you work for. Owning equity is the best and often the only way to be adequately compensated for your talent and effort. Owning equity is the only way to achieve the rewards that are commensurate with the risks you're going to take along the way. Believe and trust in the people you work with. Too many people in leadership positions don't invest anywhere near enough effort in building relationships with their colleagues. Trusting people, encouraging them to take risks and make decisions is how you inspire and build a cohesive team with shared values and goals. Seek out people with different backgrounds, experiences, and perspectives. Solicit and listen to diverse points of view. This will require some patience, but it will help build relationships and create consensus and support for key decisions. I learned the critical importance of this during my years on the BU Board of Trustees, especially while I was chairman of the board. I learned how to coax ideas from otherwise reticent trustees who are not used to the sharp elbows of the business world, but who had much to contribute from their unique background. And along the way, I had a ton of fun and met some really great friends. Speaking of friends, here is another key piece of advice. I believe that there is no greater measure of a successful life than the quality of a person's friendships. Take a good inventory of your friends as you depart tonight from this university. I'm sure each of you has made a lot of friends, but make sure you keep a few very close friends. I'm truly honored that my family and friends are here tonight to celebrate this amazing commencement weekend with my wife Jean and me. 4 of my best friends at BU are my best friends today, and 2 are here tonight. We were roommates at school, and although we didn't share classes, we did frequently share massive quantities of beer at the dugout. These friendships have endured and grown stronger over nearly half a century, literally our entire adult lives. Think of that. Friendships that last a lifetime. That's my definition of priceless. Finally, I'll close with integrity. No command to go forth into the world is complete without citing the essential need for personal integrity. And I trust you all have it. In fact, I know you all have it. Keep it and cherish it. And always remember that once lost, you can never get your reputation back. So now, hoping you're still awake, I'll leave it to you to test my advice in the real world. That's the only measure of its value. Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 2017, thank you for inviting me to share this great day with you, your family, and your friends. Go forth into the world and take risk. I know you will do great things. Thank you.